What's up, guys? Joey Bag of Donuts here for the How You Livin podcast. Today's guest, we got Chad Degroot, owner of Mr. Bikes and Boards, longtime BMX rider, and a local legend. How you living, my man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I've been excited about this. Been in your shop a lot, and finally get to sit down and let the people learn a little bit more about you. So we all know you as a prolific BMX rider, right? And a local legend. How and when did your love for the sport start?
I think I found it probably about 12 years old. I think that's when I realized that a bicycle didn't have to just transport me to school, or, that's why my parents got it from my brother and me, Todd. I realized, he came home with a couple of guys from high school because he's 2 years older, and they were actually doing bike tricks.
Nice.
And with that was a couple skaters, my friend Troy and whatnot. And it was like, it was like all the same thing, but it was like, so my parents' intent buying us matching bikes for my brother and me was to not drive us to school anymore.
Well,
and then
sense of responsibility.
Yeah, and the curbs started happening, jumping and whatnot. But those guys kind of opened our eyes to, you like, this bike can do way more than what my parents thought it would do. So,
right. When you developed your skills and started pushing onto the scene as a young kid, who were your first sponsors?
I've had some wild ones. My first legit sponsor was a guy named Elliot Edwards. He was questionably a lottery winner out of Illinois.
Okay.
But come to find out, he just worked as a mortician, and he sponsored people or kids, like bought them bike parts and everything. So it was definitely questionable. There was no hanky-panky, but I think he liked blonde-haired, blue-eyed boys. Okay. And I didn't fit the build, and in the end, he absolutely hated me. Oh, so no. It worked out perfect. But a person faking that he won the lottery. So you didn't expect kind of that would happen, probably like a brand or something like that, right? Right.
Yeah, not at all. Not competition.
But I mean, that's the interesting one, and I claim him as a first sponsor. What am I sponsoring? What am I promoting? There's too many questions involved. But I think the real thing is it could have been one of two shops, Nordic Bike and Ski in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where they gave us like 5% off, which is a joke. Yeah, but we got free stickers. And then the next bike shop close to that was called Team 2 Racing. The owner, Casey, was into motocross, but it kind of went into bikes, and I think he got a few BMX bikes. But we liked the bright pink stickers he had, so probably more legit Team 2 Racing. Yeah, I'd say that one.
Did you also do like BMX racing as well, or did you
I just touched a BMX track in my life?
Really, just all freestyle and
that's
right?
Yeah. But that's like one of the disappointments. Like, I feel like there was racing in our area. I could care less because they're goofballs. Yeah. And whoever racer friends are hearing this, suck it up. You're gonna hear worse if you want. But I mean, racing wasn't appealing. Yeah. It was just go fast. It seemed like the skill level of riding flat, riding quarter pipes, riding street, hanging out with skaters was way more appealing. Yeah. Even though we looked like dorks when we started, like uniforms, but yeah, it wasn't a team thing, and racing was still a team thing. But then again, it had a huge price tag, racing. Oh yeah. So I've gone to 3 races in my life. That's it, and very impressed with it. And like I said, I wish I raced because racers have their legs. Yeah. And they have the skill set of berms and figuring out stuff to be creative. And we're just scrawny ass little kids and like no muscle mass and eating and drinking soda and chips in their training. Yeah. So I didn't like the jock side of it. It was more freedom. So, but no racing, just straight to the good stuff.
Straight to the good stuff. Yeah. So what was your favorite contest you competed in, and what was your favorite contest that you've thrown over the years?
Competed in, I mean, high level, I think X Games, um, like local contests have always been the bread and butter.
Yeah.
Japan, there's contests. I mean, I think anything that brought me away from my area was a huge treat, but high level would probably be X Games just because, and I didn't do well, but I mean, I went. My parents knew what it was starting to get into TV, so it was more legit that what I was doing, my parents in their eyes, like something good is happening here.
Right, on a national scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
The contest throwing wise will be hands down Baco Jam. I started with a couple of my friends and we started just a goofy name called Baco. And Baco Jams were usually around Halloween, so you get everybody dressing up.
Right. That
So you
sounds
get-
awesome.
You get Scooby-Doo or Superman jumping on a bike and you get these characters, and it was party dress up, but it brought more than just biking. It was like a lifestyle, and it was like the start of what you see now, like Swamp Fest.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy, yeah.
you wanted to be there, and it was more than just biking. But we saw it from the start, and that's a big one we ran. So Baco Jam. Yeah.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
when did you compete in X Games? What year was it?
I think it was 97 to 2002.
Okay.
So I think I had five
So,
or
like
six.
in the prime of like X Games when it was coming on.
Just before the start, right in the beginning, the evolution of it. Working the bugs out was not fun,
Oh,
but
sure.
it was. I mean, it was cool to do it. The big stage, the bigger money, the bigger sponsors. You could see the kind of progression of it, but it was fun. Yeah, it was good.
So, you own a local shop named Mr. Bikes and Boards.
Correct.
When did you come up with the idea of opening your own shop, and what was the reasoning for it?
I don't have a lot of education, just high school. I think it was more or less just my bike, but what it evolved in is a necessary need to start a skate park. So in 2001, a friend of mine, Alex Krause, and me started Mission Skate Park in Longwood. 2000-ish, incorporated 2001 to 2004.
Right.
Then I had two partners that I meshed with and call it Mesh Skate Park. So that was 2004 to 2009, which I feel was a superpower. One of the partners got bought out, so I can't talk bad about him. We communicated well. I just didn't think he should be in business.
Yeah.
My other partner, Brett, was more of a party. He was kind of like the Steve-O, but not cool really, but cool at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I can say that because I very much dislike him. But for the most part, that park was a dream, was a staple, and was becoming a competitor of like Skate Park at Tampa.
Yeah.
We had sponsors, we had budgets, we had money, we had the facility, and if you stepped into that shop, you went, damn, this is no joke when you got 200 SKUs of shoes to top of the line BMX. You got a 16-person staff. So what happened was this harsh reality kicked in. Public free parks, including Candyland, which I'm sure we'll get into, were all coming in. So why would you give little Timmy $20 to go to a skate park when you can go to a free skate park? He makes $20.
Yeah.
It got a little wild and rough, but my education was for 10 years skate parks and shop life.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something that kind of spawned off that, minus the blood, minus the broken bones, minus the seizures and lacerations. Clean, simple bike and skateboard shop.
Yeah.
So I took a lot of the inventory of mesh and brought it over. That kind of started it. Because when you go out of business,
Yeah.
usually you don't have any money.
Yeah.
I didn't go out of business because I was rich. So
Right.
just to keep that clear. So I actually really wanted to pay back. I am not a dick. I'm not an asshole. And I wanted to pay back these accounts that we still owed, the Nikes and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before they could come into collections and, take my house because I owned a house or whatever. So kind of started the
that
shop.
happened,
Yeah, because I didn't know much else. I didn't want to work for someone else. I wanted to continue, but I wanted to pay back homies, people, and show that I could still have something in the area. And the reason I started Mr. Bikes and Boards and called that, I like the name Mr. Bikes and Boards, I absolutely hate, but it turned into Mr. B's. The location of it is where Candyland was supposed to be, which is Ryder Park.
Okay.
That's where the skate park was supposed to happen. So I wanted, if somebody got a flat tire or blew out something or needed something, you're within walking distance of my shop.
Oh yeah.
So
right there.
City of Longwood changed that whole thing and put it in Candyland. It's been Candyland, so
yeah,
a little further away, but so Mr. B started when Mesh Skate Park closed in 2009, and now it's 2014.
RIP.
So yep.
So what were some of the, starting that shop, you said you brought inventory over, but what were some other ups and downs in the beginning of the shop that you experienced?
The biggest downer is only be able to afford the inventory taken from Mesh Skate Park. I had a small budget and just kind of went out on a whim, lost my ass with Mesh, but that's a downer from the start.
Right.
When you're starting a business and people are like, well, the biggest question is what happened to the skate park? And it makes you kind of feel like shit. And like you failed. And essentially the business failed, but that's why I'm here today, because I'm not trying to fail again.
Right.
You know, do that.
But mistakes.
Yeah.
On that.
It's hard. It's hard. You know, I started biking and skating, but I got more associated at Mesh as the bike side of it, running that program.
Right.
So this stuff I get recognition for from skaters is, you know, having a great skate park. But does that equate to people like skaters coming in and spending money? Why would they want to give me money? So there's a small portion of the shop is skate. A bigger portion is BMX. I mean, that's what I do, just to be honest. Mm-hmm. I think of that all the time. You know, do I want to change or do I want to do stuff? But that's kind of what I've done. I've had a skate and bike shop in Longwood for 23 years. Wow. Do the math. I love it. It's not going anywhere. So those are the highs. The lows are, you know, what happened, not with Mission because it closed down to turn into Mesh, but what happened with Mesh, and learn from mistakes and actually just try and be a nice person in the community. And I think it goes a long ways and you can get past. But another huge thing is in our fourth year, we had a massive party and everybody's like, oh, damn, you know, you got keg of beer and food catered in. My chef friend Spencer came in and chef food, and they're like, this is awesome. But only a couple people asked me, they're like, why are you having this on a 4-year? Why don't you have it on a 5? And I'm like, I'll tell you tomorrow. We had a blast. We had an awesome time. And then I think it was one person asked, and not many people know, is I had the 4-year because I didn't think I'd make it to the 5th.
Wow. So
why not have a blowout, have a blast?
Right.
And then after that, it just started kind of slowly getting better. You know, and it's 4-year anniversary.
Expect the worst, get the best.
Yes, exactly.
So what can we expect to see in the future for the shop? Do we have any big plans, or just keep on keeping on? Like,
I think keep on keeping on, but I do a lot of stuff through the shop. So I do it other places, the Ocoee Skate Park, Barnett, Oviedo, Orlando, you know, and definitely Candyland. And then with the up and coming Castleberry Park, I like doing a lot of stuff, and I think I've been embedded with city officials, mayor, workers, designers, builders, and it's exciting to do pop-up jams, you know, that are free, using free facilities and free stuff, using chalk to draw on stuff, to have donations or GoFundMe. Last GoFundMe we raised almost $1,100.
Oh, wow.
So to do a free event, we could go reach out to sponsors and buy cool stuff. And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike sponsors. That makes a lot of events happen. Sponsors send you stuff they want to push.
Right.
If I can raise $1,100 and buy cool stuff and give coffee beans to all the parents that drove their people there, but the coffee came from a company that their profits go into buying helmets for kids. So there's a lot that circles back around of stuff, and I feel better doing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. And the community help's been really cool. As far as changes in the shop, I went into the Longwood Chipotle with my son the other day, and I looked up in the ceiling, and I go, I want that for my shop. Just open ceilings, blown in insulation, just open, but I know it costs so much, and I don't own the building. But I constantly try and change the shop, make it look better. We have a pool table in there and whatnot, but you're always trying to better your or my shop. You're trying to better the experience.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if that answered the question, but
it definitely did.
Kind of.
Yeah. It gives us a little bit more insight too on the shop, and I know every time. I mean, me and my friend went in there, I think like 2 weeks ago, because we were going to Candyland and he needed a new board. So I told him, I was like, stop in.
Yeah.
It's like, it's right on the way, and then I was right behind him, so I stopped in with him, and then we talked about being here today. So we touched on it a little bit about Candyland. You mentioned it. I don't know if a lot of people know, or if we know, or if more people than we know that you had a hand in what Candyland is today. But what inspires you to get involved with the community to bring a better skate park that's free to Longwood?
I still ride. I have a shop, and that pays my bills, but I go to Candyland and I ride my bike all the time.
Yeah.
I like what this is. I like the next generation coming up, starting people on their boards or bikes. I like a lot of that stuff. It's still a drive in me. As far as community is like Longwood, they are crazy that they opened their arms to me in the beginning.
Right.
My first GoFundMe I raised, I think it was $3,000, and I had my friend Nate and the Nitro Circus crew build metal, like the 2 uneven ledges. I call them the Barcelona benches, the little grind benches, and then the candy corn. Those are built in Pennsylvania. We raised $3,000. I went up there in a rider truck and drove those back. It sucked. Realized that, and they didn't charge me anything. So we paid for materials. My friend Nate did it. I don't know how many hours, labor of love.
Yeah.
He doesn't even live here.
Yeah, that's a long trek.
He just knows, and we built the candy corn. We built those 2 uneven ledges. That was awesome. But the community just didn't question it, and if you're watching this, please don't question it, but they didn't ask for insurance.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah. They didn't ask for, corporation papers. They didn't ask for credentials at all. They're just like, oh, you're going to raise money and put some stuff into this. And that happened again with the infinity quarter and the up the tree and the jersey barriers, even though jersey barriers are bonus.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that don't know the whole story behind all those things, but the city's such open arms. And and then when they got their $200,000 grant, it went to the pump track, and I could explain that. It might take a while, but the next one is the city just got awarded a $30,000 grant.
Yeah.
So that's the next ones. We're doing renderings now, and then it goes out to 3 companies bid for it, and there'll be some changes. It's exciting because you see something happening. It's not a dead end. Like, I go meet with the city officials, and our mayor of Longwood's an ex-WWE wrestler.
Yeah, Matt Morgan, right?
Yeah, who has an autistic son, and he's an ex-drug addict. Amazing. Yeah. He's also 7 feet tall.
Yeah, that is a massive man.
Yeah, he is a thick human. He is a good person, and he is open. So there's a lot of cool stuff, but I think that's equating into Coe.
Okay.
The city officials let us do some events there for free. But these are free parks. They should be doing that. But to change anything like Candyland is damn awesome. And I see that as my backyard ramp. So if I had to sum it up, but Candyland's awesome. So, and it's going to get better.
Okay. So you said you guys are working on renders. You want to give any sneak peeks or reveals of what?
Yeah, we could all agree that the prefab ramps there are way past due to get rid of.
Dude.
So and it's gonna be a bummer to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But couple things. On Monday, we're doing a paint party, which the city's gonna do it. They're paying for all the paint, but anyone that wants to come out at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., by 10, everything should be set. Where I'm gonna sit out there and not let anyone ride till noon. It should have a less than 2 hour dry time, especially if it's sunny. It's the last hurrah of the obstacles there. And I'm not saying they're going away, but at the end of the year, when a $30,000 grant comes, most everything should go away.
Yeah. And
$30,000 in cement doesn't go a long ways, but to do something cool, that the rail and the fun box in the middle, I'd like to see something like that on a bigger scale with a platform. And then everything that's built on the edges is going to extend further. So I don't want to put anything on top of the platform except that middle fun area with hubbas and rails and ledges and stuff. So that, I don't see a lot of parks having that. And I think I like it. I know everybody loves that stuff there. It'll just be a massive version of what's there.
Yeah, I know Barnett has that little chill bump to hubba.
It's so small.
It is, but I feel like for some people like me and like younger, I guess, beginners, like starters, it's a little less. I'm not saying Candyland's intimidating because it's not at all.
We're not trying to make stuff massive. And you mentioning Barnett, I love the size of it.
Yeah, it's
a absolutely fun, great design park. And if you put money into it, which we all donated to expand the cement a little bit when they raised that money.
Yeah,
you got a sense of pride for that park too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's way better than the old metal ramps and rough asphalt.
We're not trying to build a 14-foot bowl like in St. Petersburg and waste all that cement money. And my biker friend Simon Tabaron, he's a vert rider. He can do 540s and 8-foot airs on that. Nobody else can probably even air it a foot. Good for him.
Right.
I think it's a little bit of waste of that. So the renderings are going to be, I think, a little bit bigger stuff, but platform-wise and spaced out stuff. So yeah, we're not building, like, spending $30,000 on a snake run. We're not fixing the pump track. There's a reason why that went in, and a lot of money was allotted for that. This goes to a lot of everything else on the platform. So we'll see. I think a lot of people will be excited. I know I'm excited talking about it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's close by. Everybody loves it, and it seems kind of like a DIY. So, but it's the evolution of it's still going to continue.
Yeah.
We're not done after this one.
Right.
We're gonna work on another grant. So.
All right. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Personally, I grew up loving vintage cars. Mm-hmm. I used to go to Old Town on Saturdays with my grandpa all the time, religiously. And I've seen that you own one on your socials.
Yep.
What was your first experience when you found the love for vintage cars?
I moved from Green Bay, Wisconsin to Arizona, to Phoenix and Scottsdale, and ended up selling my dad's car, and I found this perfect 66 Squareback. I had a paint job, chrome rims, and it was lowered. And I didn't realize in about an hour you can lower it or raise it. It's splined, so it's super easy. Yeah. And turned into love for that kind of car. On my new car, I still have the license plate from that when I bought it in '94. So it says Arizona, March, my birthday, '94 on the tags and everything. But driving that with no seatbelts, figuring out the road when you got a lowered car. On my drive back from Arizona to Wisconsin, I got 2 back flat tires. Tell me how many people have got that because it was so low and it was rubbing. Yeah, so long story short, I got that fixed, but you learn how to work on a car. I still don't know a lot of engine stuff, but it's just something like I brought home. My dad's like, hell yeah, and it's got a look to it. There's a lot of stuff on it that's pretty cheap. But it's a pride thing too.
What kind of car is it? It's
a VW Squareback Type 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like a hearse or
kind of a little bit.
The bugs, there's no room. The fastback's a little. The back window's faster, and the Squareback is like a wagon.
Yeah.
And I have bikes, and at that time, '94 or '95, when I had my first one, I slept in my car.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do, and it was awesome to have room. And I always had that love for that. Ended up crashing it here. My friend and I were working at Disney, and we're on our way, and I got in an accident in a parking lot, which is funny, but if you know anything about old vintage cars, they're not made of much.
No.
So you crash them and they twist, and then the insurance company is very quick to total them. So I didn't own it that long, but and then I kind of kept my eye out, and all of a sudden my son, it's fun. I've had it a few years, so he was probably like 13 at the time, and he absolutely loved cars. Like you could see this spark and a conversation. And my friend Diener's like, hey man, my friend Vic's got this car. He's pulling out his hair. He wants to get rid of it. I'm like, I gotta go see it. And I'm like, it's a little bit newer, but he did a lot of work to it and airbags and stuff, which I've never had. And so I'm into that whole process now of doing all that. And I love it. It's if I could drive it every day, I would. It's a little hot. It fills up with water when it rains. So you get a couple inches of water in there, but for the most part, it's a dry car kept in my garage, and I drive it mostly in the winters. So
have you ever taken it to any car shows? Or
yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, down at Ace Cafe was some of the first ones. Rest in peace, but I think Sanford's building an Ace Cafe now, and hopefully to continue. Otherwise, trying to think, I didn't have it, but the one on Dog Track Road, I forgot the name of it, that just happened.
Okay.
That one, I wanted to bring my car, but I'm doing some work to it. But mainly Henry's Depot. I've been to that VW one, and then the one I was on my way to was in Port Orange at that big VW, at the skate park there,
Yeah.
But the front spindle snapped on the bridge going over St. John's. That bump, it snapped, and then I Fred Flintstone. My feet were on the ground from 60 miles an hour to 0. So that took a few months to fix that. So I've been to 2 car shows with the car, probably about 5 without the car, and the plan is to go to more of them. Yeah. I think the hard thing is too, and correct me if I'm wrong, I even have car friends that don't know about a lot of them.
Yeah.
So like I know that Aloma and 436 one is, I think, second Sunday of every month. I go to that quite often because I know about it, but all the other ones I just don't know.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows of some or whatever, message me, or you too. I like going to them, and I like bringing my son, and if there's more happening, it's pretty awesome. So
they're a great time.
And I bring the car first and foremost, but I've been starting to bring bikes and telling people to bring bikes or skateboards or just different, to change it up from just the car. And I've been seeing a lot of vintage bikes or modern bikes and stuff, and it's kind of cool because it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely is.
So
for sure,
I know there's room in these cars to fit your stuff. So back it up, bring the stuff.
If you could have any vintage car, what would it be?
I have the one I want. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's always been, that's all I've known is that style, the square back, and I had one. Now I have it again, and I love it. Yeah. I love its quirks. It's always got something going on. You got to do something or this or that, and I don't know. Like I haven't watched it once in years. Which it makes people frustrated, but it took 53 years to look how it does. Yeah, with the rust and
patina,
the rims and the tires are perfect, and the chrome is perfectly chrome, but the paint is it's horrible. Yeah, in a beautiful way. So I would love to do a show car. Like I had an option to get a show car, but if you ride on any of these roads or you're anywhere around anything debris or construction, or if you've ridden Candyland lately, imagine driving a nice car on that.
Yeah,
they tore that road up. I just cry. So I like having a little bit of a beat up car that could take a little bit more. So, but dream car, I have more appreciation for everything people do by having one. Yeah. So, and I didn't for a lot of years up till a couple of years ago when I just got this one. So. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, time for the fun part.
Okay.
Not that this hasn't been fun, but this is a little quick section called This or That. So I'm just going to read off this or that, and then you just give a quick answer, and we're going to speed round.
Do I pick one, this, or that?
It's like, so
and
you
then
pick one.
Can expand on it a little?
You can, if you want to, for sure, of course.
Yeah, hit me.
Ford or Chevy?
I think Ford. Do I have to explain?
I mean, if you want to, you don't have to.
My dad had a Ford LTD as like when we were kids, and we would wrap that around trees because in the Midwest it's snow and ice. We bought the biggest car for the three brothers. I had two brothers, and it was the safest car. You could switch drivers like on the highway. We did.
Yeah.
You just jump in the back seat and somebody scoots over.
Yeah.
You could fit all your bikes in there. 6 people comfortably. So, and it was a Ford. I mean, my friend has a Chevy too. You may twist my arm when I say Ford. I don't know.
No, you're good. Spaceballs or Revenge of the Nerds?
Probably Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah.
Yes. Brakes or no brakes?
One brake.
One brake?
Front brake.
Front brake? Why?
I don't know. I only do front wheel stuff.
Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah. Definitely. Hats or beanies?
Beanies are way more comfortable. I will wear a hat, but you'll never see me wearing a hat backwards ever again.
What?
I don't know. I think it's just
maturity.
It's tacky. I don't know what it is. I wear my hat backwards forever, and then I see all these videos and pictures. I'm like, it's so goofy.
Yeah. I've actually started wearing my hats forward.
I like it. Yeah. Please continue. Yeah, that's how they should be worn.
Night out or night in with the family?
I appreciate nights in. I'd take a night in anytime, but experiences, depending on what the outing is. So, but in probably 80%.
Yeah. Park or street?
I'm a go-to for park. It's already there. I do appreciate some street when I do travel.
Yeah.
Like more interesting stuff, but yeah, I think park more consistent, and you know what you're kind of getting into.
Right. Okay. Cool. So we know that you're a huge part of the community. You've been inspiring people, working with the community, building it. Anybody that goes to Candyland knows your shop, knows you. So this is a big question I always ask at the end. If you could see something happen in the community in the future, what would you want to see happen?
I mean, the expansion of Candyland.
Yeah.
You're talking community like that, like Longwood area?
Yeah, I mean, just as like the community that you're a part of, that what you're seeing and what you want to see more of.
I want to see some more support, but it's kind of hard having support aside from showing up on Monday to paint or doing stuff. A huge support system would be finishing what we started. Like if you go back and see the revamped rendering of Candyland, that would be an end goal.
Yeah.
So to get it, it all costs money. When you're dealing with money, you're dealing with conversations and a lot of smiling faces and yeses. But when it comes down to the money's not there, it's not happening.
Right.
So I would love to see that happen to completion sooner than later. Before it might get overlooked a little bit because of Castleberry's enormous $5 million park coming in. So I think Canyon will still have that love. I'm still going to have that drive because it's there. But I'd like to see that finished, completed. I think I saw a rendering you posted or something. Yeah.
And
it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
What something could be. And then we actually went to a city meeting and proposed it. And it's essentially like, I think a $600,000 park for $200,000.
Yeah. Because
of creativeness and Tito and Platform Group, Ryan Clements, all them knowing they're, in this area for the right reasons. And there's enough builders and skilled skaters and bikers to help with labor too.
Right.
If you can save 1 or 2/3 of a cost of a $600,000 skate park, it's crazy. So I'm hoping that actually does happen though. So there's no reason not to. It's just patience.
Yeah, patience and
Yeah.
I know we all want it as skaters and bikers and people that just go to Candyland.
Yep.
Was super stoked when I went. I saw the pictures of people posting the new mani pad, the ledges in the middle, the wall. I just started skating the tree wall, and I was terrified of it.
The tree's like a bonus, but it's so smooth.
It is so smooth,
and it's put there. It was put there because that was in our budget to do, but it's a direction change for when the next couple phases. It'll all start tying everything together.
Yeah,
but it goes up a tree.
Yeah, that's the insane part. And like you said, it's so smooth. I rode up it and like ollied up it, and I was like, oh, that's way better than the 5-foot quarter pipe.
It's thick metal. It's fast. It's fun. Yeah, it's one of my more favorite obstacles there, just because it's unique too. Oh, yeah. Like they wanted to get rid of all the trees. There's not many trees at parks, and I feel that that's beautiful. Arborists should be on point with decking out all these new parks that are coming in or existing parks. It's Florida.
Yeah.
Love vitamin D, but don't force it on us,
Right.
Leading to cancer or skin conditions and stuff. So.
Plus the park's way too open to the sun anyway, so you need shade spots to just chill.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of Candyland.
Yeah.
It's got those spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, I've had an amazing time sitting down to talk to you finally. After knowing you for years and years, you seem like you have great plans for the future. I know I'm excited. I'm pretty sure everybody else is excited once they hear this.
Yep.
So thank you for coming on today.
Not a problem. Appreciate you having me.
No worries.
Yeah.
And for that, this is Joey Bag of Donuts signing off. I'll see you guys next time.